everyone. I will make an exception. I am truly honored, and I'm very thankful to each and every one of you for bestowing this upon me. And I know that we are blessed to live in this country, and I say this as a naturalized American. I came to this country when I was 8 years old, not knowing a word of English. My political opponents think that I'm still mastering language, what a great honor for me to be able to say that I'm the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, being a naturalized American. Is this a great country or not? Great country know that our government rests on the ancient Hellenic ideals of freedom, liberty, and democracy. And we say that at every one of these events, but it really must be stressed, and it has to be repeated. And if we don't do it, who will? So we have to remind everyone we meet where we got these this foundation, where our principles were founded first, and those are the ancient Hellenic ideals. And these same gifts should be enjoyed by all people around the world, and that is the American ideal, but particularly the long-suffering people of Cyprus. Why should they be an exception to this rule? And as you heard from Philip, and as you heard from Andy and Chairman Gilman, for almost 4 decades, the people of Cyprus have endured conflict, division, and foreign occupation. It is long past time for their liberation. And I was very encouraged by the renewed efforts in 2008 by the Greek and Turkish communities on Cyprus to begin reunification negotiations. Unfortunately, as we saw, although some progress had been achieved, it's been far too little. And there has been no movement over the past several months, especially due to the continued behind-the-scenes interference by the Turkish government and a new hardline representative from the Turkish community. So I understand that there's also a push to impose a premature end date to these complex negotiations. And time again, we have seen that history has demonstrated that imposing these artificial time frames for peace negotiations, that it's both foolish and indeed dangerous. So I hope that that people get their sense back and understand that this has to be a serious effort. We have also regrettably witnessed the futility of this so-called peace plans that are being developed and imposed by outside parties without the full participation and the acceptance of those who are directly involved and impacted. If there is to be an enduring and peaceful reunification of Cyprus, it must rest on the decisions that are freely made by the Cypriot people themselves and not from outside sources. If Turkey and the Turkish Cypriot community if they desire an expedited settlement, an expedited settlement of the conflict, it is within their power to facilitate this process. Nothing is holding them back by providing constructive suggestions to address the disputed issues. Instead, what do we see? The leadership of the Turkish Cypriot community, under instructions from the Turkish government, continues its intransigence, thereby ensuring continued stalemate. They want it to happen this way. Those are the instructions, and that's why we see no progress on the ground. And as the talks continue to be delayed, what is happening? As you heard, and we say it all the time, over 40,000 Turkish troops remain in the occupied region of northern Cyprus. This is ridiculous, and this is illegal. Approximately 1 Turkish soldier for every 4 Turkish Cypriots. 40,000 Turkish troops. What else is happening? Illegal immigrants from Turkey flood into northern Cyprus, with some reports indicating at least 800 illegal migrants each year. They want to change the demographics. This is on purpose. Churches and historic sites are damaged in the Turkish-occupied region of northern Cyprus, and we've seen this time and time again. Most recently, the destruction of the 200-year-old Saint Thekla, did I say that right? Yeah. Thekla Chapel in northern Cyprus. Can you imagine 200 years of history? Sacred history. What else has been happening? Turkish warplanes and military vessels continue to disrupt Cypriot efforts to explore offshore gas deposits, even declaring that Turkey has nullified the maritime border agreed to by the sovereign governments of Cyprus and Israel, a treaty that Turkey was not even a party to. Apparently those that are both in Turkey and in the leadership of the Turkish Cypriot community believe that the continued obstruction of the talks serves their best interests. But we know that the opposite is true. In fact, the Turkish Cypriot community remains unable to fully benefit from the economic and social benefits of Cyprus's membership in the EU, resulting in a far lower standard of living, reduced investment, and other limitations in their overall development. So they have nothing to gain. Therefore, I urge the representatives of the Turkish Cypriot community to promote their own community's interest by working for the reunification of the island and to press the Turkish government to end its efforts to prolong the division and its occupation. Some appropriate first steps would be an immediate and unequivocal statement of support by the Turkish Cypriot government of the reunification plans that builds upon the agreed format of the bizonal and bicommunal federation, and the immediate and permanent withdrawal of Turkish occupation troops from northern Cyprus. Those are the conditions that must be met. I will continue to support these goals until that great day that will come soon, when Cyprus is finally unified and Cyprus is finally at peace. So thank you very much for presenting me with this great award, and I thank my wonderful colleagues for being here. Thank you to each and every one of you, and thank you to those 2 or 3 people who were not recognized by Philip Christopher tonight. Muchísimas gracias.